So these are copies of the first few pages of the First Folio. And the table of contents. The Tempest, the Two Gentlemen of Verona, The Merry Wives of Windsor, Measure for Measure, Comedy of Errors, Titus Andronicus. We're just outside Picture Rocks. This is a converted RV storage garage that I've converted into a nice airy bindery. Panther Peak Bindery. Well, they called and said, the First Folio is coming to Tucson and we're wondering if we couldn't do something that would help people to better understand the book as an object rather than just the content. And I said, what if you made a book that was similar in size to it, but was a cutaway? Because I'm going to finish this book and only put leather on half of it so people could see what the inbands look like and they can see what the sewing looked like. Well, I hope people have a sense of how it was put together and not only get a sense of the size and the heft of it, but also to get an idea of what the inner workings and how the thing was constructed.
Ill blows the wind that profits nobody. This man whom hand to hand I slew in fight may be possessed with some store of crowns, and I that haply take them from him now may yet ere night yield both my life and them to some man else, as this dead man doth me.
The sounds you're hearing in the background are the folks in the shop who are busy constructing both The Tempest and the Comedy of Errors, which we will be performing as part of the First Folio. They are busy. They work from early in the morning until late at night.
How fares the king and his followers?
Confined together, in the same fashion as you gave in charge. They cannot budge till your release.
Shakespeare is at the center of the theatrical tradition. He is the tallest tree in the forest. He really and truly is. And everything moves towards him or away from him.
The dread rattling thunder have I given fire and rifted Jove's stout oak with his own bolt.
It's a chance to go and see the document from which they came. And then to be able to see that piece of history and come to the theater and see it come to life is a really remarkable opportunity.
Mine would, sir. Were I human.
If those 18 plays hadn't been contained in the First Folio, we would have lost Mark Antony, Friends, Romans, Countrymen, lend me your ears. We would have lost Duke Orsino saying, if music be the food of love, play on. Then the touch happens here, and it's nice and clean. I think the hardest part in terms of making the Shakespeare work is that the actor has to understand that they need to put everything into the language.
I drink the air before me and return around your pulse twice beats.
And Shakespeare has given you the words to express what you're feeling. So you don't have to wait. You don't have to do that take. You don't have to do that look. You need to use the language that you have in your mouth to express exactly what you're trying to do with your body. The language is the thing.
Beshrew your eyes. They have o'erlooked me and divided me. One half of me is yours, the other half yours. Mine own, I would say, but if mine, then yours, and so all yours. Oh, these naughty times puts bars between the owners and their rights, and so though yours, not yours.
We've created this Tucson crumhorn consort to play the music of Shakespeare. This is called crumhorn. Crum is the German word for curved, so that's where the name comes from. Okay, dun, 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 dun. 1, 2, 3. That's the fun of these things, that we're playing music from the time period of Shakespeare and during the Renaissance, on instruments that would have been played then. I think they're just so unique sounding. They're fingered very similarly to a recorder. So we're all recorder players, and I'm playing the bass. On the tenor is Ulrich Michael, and Gary Kern is playing an alto cornemuse, and Barbara Martin over here is playing a soprano crumhorn.
It's over.
It's over. Okay, good. Sounds pretty good.
It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief. If thou her maid art far more fair than she, be not her maid, since she is envious. Her vestal livery is but sick and pale, and none but fools do wear it. Cast it off. She speaks, yet she says nothing. What of that?
Today we started working in the stage combat class on the battle sequence that we will use for the opening gala for the residency of the First Folio.
Oh, wait.
So if it says in Shakespeare, they fight, I choreograph it and make sure the actors stay safe. And I start them off with the first phrase of the fight, and then they will go through and start to piece together the next phase, and I come through and I clean it. So they're generating some of it, and I'm guiding them as they generate it.
That's it right there. There you go. Look and see what that does. It opens up.
The thing about a fight is that it has to be, first of all, safe, but then it has to tell a specific story. A fight is simply where communication is broken down, and we are now communicating with our fists, with a sword, with a war axe, whatever it is we have in our hands and available. So that's how we're talking to each other. So it has to tell that story.
It starts with the head cut. Remember to duck. You know, I mean, you can coach each other. It sounds like battle cries. It's all good. Okay? Excellent. Good. Thank you all.
Don't cut my... There is something else. This bond doth give thee here no jot of blood. The words expressly are a pound of flesh. Take then thy bond, take thou thy pound of flesh, but in the cutting it, if thou dost shed one drop of Christian blood, thy lands and goods are by the laws of Venice confiscate unto the state of Venice.
Shakespeare understood life, and he understood people, and he presents them warts and all. And it's really lovely to get back to those original texts and to be able to bring that to life. Things that are cornerstones of how we understand life, how we articulate things, how we phrase them and consider them. So it's really a vitally important piece of our history and our culture.
And deeper than did ever plummet sound, I'll drown my book.
And when you hear people do it well, the fact of the timing with the words makes it clearer than if you're in high school and reading it and going, what the hell is this? Which is really, I think, kind of an unfair way to present Shakespeare to people, because they go, I don't understand this at all, but then you hear it read, and when people know where to put the pauses and the emphasis, it sort of clarifies it.
To the kingship, invisible as thou art, there shalt thou find the master and the boatswain. Being awakened, force them to this place, and presently I prithee.
I drink beer.
Okay, so can we try it this way? So.
There's no reason to fear Shakespeare. It will sound foreign to your ears for about the first 5 minutes, and then you will get into the flow of things. There is visual imagery that will help you understand the story. One of the things that we stress in terms of the training of our actors and in our productions is clarity, so that you will be able to understand what's going on. And more than that, just not that you'll be able to endure it, you will find yourself hooked. You will find yourself experiencing something that you didn't know that you would like, and you will very probably go and see another one.